Good morning, everybody. Just carrying on with this book here. I added a doily. It's just pinned the inside of one of the doilies here to perhaps use as part of the closure. I also added a couple more of the small inner parts up in that corner as well. And that's all I've done on the cover. I have been working on other things inside. So what I want to do today is work on the inside cover to attach to this. So let me move all that out of the way. And I will show you what I was working on, but I want to, while I've got this in my mind, I want to work on this. Oh, see these tiny little pretty flower bits here? These are from this pretty trim here. These flowers are made up of 4 of these little, see, it's a flower like that, folded in half again, and 4 of those. But how pretty is that, just like as a flower by itself? Just thought I'd show you that. Okay, so this is the inside of our cover here, and what I want to do is make a lining for it, and I have some of the calico left over, and that will be fine to use there like that. And then I want to put some on either end, but I want to attach a little bit of the wadding. Let's see what we've got left over here. I'm making a mess in here, oh my goodness. Okay, so we have this. That's the other page, isn't it? I can make something out of that at a later date though, so that's okay. I want a bit, I want to make sure it's going to be big enough though. Is that going to be big enough? Like that. I'll take it the long way, I think. Like that. Okay. I'm going to take it a bit bigger than I need it so I can overlap. And I want 2 of those pieces. So we want one for there and one for the other side. Just remember the cover was a bit longer. Let's just cut those down. I'll take about 1 inch off the bottom. Even they can be used for little ephemera pieces if you're wondering what to do with them. So that there and that there, like that. That'll be good. I could trim it just a little bit more, like just 1/4 of an inch more perhaps. Not too much though. About that. And about that. I'll get rid of those bits. And they will go under there. Like that. I need it there because the pages are a bit shorter. Okay, like that. And now I need to cover this little bit here, and I've still got some of this pretty fabric left that I could use on one of them. I don't have enough for both, I don't think. I've got those other doilies though. Let me see. Is there anything? I could patch some together if I wanted to. I'll put that there. Like this. There's still that piece there. I could do that. I hope you can see. So if I put that piece up there like that, I don't need, I'll keep that. Okay, that can go up like that. And that one there. Okay, and we can have that there. Don't need it all. Okay, there, like that. That could work. Okay. And just zigzag all that together, and then I'll just need to might want a stronger piece than that. Oh, I've got this. Got this nice strong linen here. This might work. I just want an extra piece. Oh, I don't want to use that. Let's see if this will. Oh, this some rip a lot easier than others do. So we don't want that. I'll just take that. Because I want something a little bit stronger in the center to stitch the pages to, so it's not too flimsy. You won't see this. You won't see this at all. Okay, so just make sure that's going to be strong enough. And just some cardstock or something just behind that piece. Just looking here what I've got on hand. I just want a little bit more stability there, but I don't want it too thick because the book is actually, you know, a nice soft kind of book. But I want a little bit of stability. I have made something like this before, and I ended up putting something in after I'd sewn it, so I want to try and do it beforehand this time. Real box, hey? Just wants a bit of cardboard in there. Just that. Okay. Ollie. You can't. Come on. You sit on my chair. Good girl. Where's my scissors? So just a bit of card. It might be a little bit too wide. So a little bit more. Take a bit more off. And I kind of want it the width of the spine. Just playing with there. Okay. that should be all right. Yeah, that'll be fine. There. And there. And I'm going to sew all that in. I don't want to glue it because I want the machine will be going under it again. And I don't want all that glue on my needle. So I'm going to stitch around it like that. And then perhaps down the center as well. And then zigzag these pieces on as well. Being sure to, and stitching around here for the wadding. So that's all on. That's a bit crooked, isn't it? It won't matter because that, oh, let me show you what I mean. This is the first page that will be attached there, and it will be like that. And see that just pokes out the end there? I'll probably put a bit of lace or something in that. Or something, maybe even something like that. To finish it off. That might be nice. And a bit of lace or something there. But I just need to get this lining done first. Oh, I added this little trim from Luscious laces there as well. Bit there and bit there. So let me go sew this together. And hopefully it'll start making a bit more sense to you once that's done. I might just pin all that in place first though. Okay. Okay, that's all sewn together. I was a little bit off center with this part in the middle, so that's where my cardboard lays in there. That line there is pretty much right in the center. Now, because I have 3 pages that I'm putting in, I will want 1 page on the center line and then 1 page halfway over this way and 1 page halfway over that way. This is my, that's the first one. This, where's the second one? The second one's here. What's the second one? Let's keep things in order. This is the second one. Did I add anything there? Yes, I think I put that little bit of trim, that pink trim across the top there. That's all I've done to that one. So I need to fold that in half. That is going to be stitched where that center line is there. So if I put that there like that and then open it up, I can pin that into place. I can't pin it into place because my pin won't go through that cardboard, but I do have these lovely little clips here. And I can clip that there, and I can clip it at the bottom here as well, like that. And I know my center is right between this pocket and this piece of lace here, and I can go sew that. I can either sew it from this side here, or I can flip it over and just follow that line there, which may be the easier option in this case. And then once I've done that, I can sew the next one. Where is it? I can put this one here like that and sew that in the same way as I sewed this one in. Once I've sewn that one in, then I flip this over and I can sew the next one in between these 2 points as well. So I'll have my 3 pages sewn in, and then I'll be back. Okay, so that's all, they're all stitched on now, as you can see. I did have to do it a couple of times on one of them because I got it a bit crooked, and it's much easier to line them up and stitch them from this side. So that is what that kind of looks like. And you may think, why is she putting cardboard in a fabric book? And it's to add some stability to the spine. I have done it on a few of my fabric lace books before, but this one's going to be a little bit different anyway, because what I'm going to do is this is also going to be a journal. See, that's going to be like a, what do they call them, like a hollow spine effect for this, and that will get joined there like that. But in between each of these I have made a journal insert. I've used some scraps of paper from, some of you may remember when I covered the front of my cubes. I had all these strips of this beautiful paper, and it's from Kaiser Craft. Let's see if I've got, here we go. Rose Avenue collection. I love, love, love this, and I thought the colours in these scraps went really lovely with the colours in the fabric. So I've made 3 journal inserts. They're not overly elaborate. I will show you them once they're in, perhaps, because they're not, you know, all the pages are still loose in there. And I've used ribbons and things from Luscious laces. So what I'm going to do is that will now go in there like that, and then that's the second one, and that one will be going in there like that, and then the third one here will have that one there in that one. And so in actual fact it will be a journal, not just a fabric book. It's actually something that will be used, and oh gee, it feels so nice actually. Yes, it's chunky, but I mean it's very usable. It's not like wasteful or anything like, well, I wouldn't say wasteful. I don't think any craft is wasteful, because it's a pleasure to make things, isn't it? It's practical. That is the word I'm looking for. So I'm going to hand stitch these in though before I attach this. No, I'm going to attach those, but I'm going to hand stitch this to this section before I attach it to this section here, if that makes sense, because I had to sew these ones in by machine before I can attach these, because you don't want to be putting trying to get this under the machine. Plus paper and stitching down the spine doesn't always work well. Your paper can break easily. So they're all going to be just I think, is it just the 3-hole pamphlet stitch. I will put those in. I can see where the center is here with my stitch line, which won't be seen at all, and that's how that will go. So I'll go and attach all these into this, and then I'll be back. Okay, I have punched the holes into my signatures, and what I've done is I've got my little guide here, and I've just placed it in the center because it's smaller than the actual book, and lined it up where I want it, and then I have marked where I need to punch the holes, because I still need to put the holes in here, but you know, going through paper into fabric isn't the ideal way. So now what I'm going to do is punch those holes, and see that will go right through the other side, through the cardboard and the fabric there. And see, there we go, that's where my hole will be. And the same for here, because I can't do this in my punch board or anything, because fabric's a lot harder to get through. But there we go. And plus it would help if I had a better awl, but you know, mine's blunt. But it still does the job. But you just need to apply quite a bit of pressure. There we go. That one's a little bit off on that side, but it's not a, oh, okay, I see what I've done. I'll do that again. It won't be, the fabric was just moved over, that's all. Okay, so there's my holes punched. That one there won't be noticeable because it will all be on the inside. So there we go. And that's what I'm going to see. 1, 2, 3. That's what I'm going to do for all the signatures and sew them in. Okay, so they are all stitched in now. With the transition, that's the last one there, and that's that inside cover. What I'm going to do is stitch that to that, and I think it'd look alright to put a piece of that there, and that way, yeah, put a piece there, and that way when the book's like that, it looks kind of pretty having those flowers there. And it's that kind of book where you can get away with that sort of thing. And I've got another piece, and that's all I've got left of that. This one's got a kink in it that I have to straighten out. When it was stitched, it may have got caught. When they've put the flowers on, I think this little one got caught up a bit. I'll fix that when I put it on. So that one, that will go like that, and that will also have this little trim there. So like when the book's open, you've got a little trim hanging out there, and you'll have a little trim hanging out there. That's what I'm going to do next. So I'll be putting this on and attaching those pretty little bits, and then is the time to attach it to the cover. Right, so I'll do that. There we go. So that is the cover popped around it. That's the side which I still need to do some things on. So I'm not attaching the cover as yet. I'm just fitting it to make sure it fits, and as you can see, it does fit. I did put in those flowers down that side, and I fixed that other little bit up there and put that down that side, and I just like them peeking out there. I think that's really pretty. I glued that on. I stitched the back part to the lining, and that's how it will close, like that, isn't it? I love the way that looks. Reminds me of a whole pile of hankies or something like that. It's just really, really nice. The next thing I want to do is finish off the spine somehow, and I've used just about everything that I got out. I've got that left, 2 bits of that left. I've still got, I can use some of that. I've got all these little flowers here as well that I can use. I've got that, and I've got a bit of the blue one left. I've got a couple of flowers left, a little bit of that one, a little bit of that one, a little bit of that one, bit of ribbon left. I didn't use any of the gimp that I got out. Got that. So pretty much, you know, I used a lot of what I said I was going to use. Still got some ribbons left, but that's okay, because what I've done is I decoupaged some tags while I started. I used these 2 napkins, that yellow one there and this blue one here, and I already had these tag shapes made out of book paper before, So I've just made a few that will go in here. Might need to glue that a little bit, I'm not sure. They still have to have like all the scraps from the paper. All these scraps will be put onto the back of the tags, and then I will stitch around the tags as well. Maybe add a bit of trim on them. I don't want to make them bulky though. They might not have that kind of trim on them. Like this one's not too bad because that's really, you know, it's quite delicate and not bulky, and a little bit of that's not bad because it's only fine as well. So trying to keep that nice and flat. So I still have all that to do. What I thought I might do is use some of this netting. I won't cut the applique piece because that's really pretty, isn't it? I'll just cut that off though. Put that over there. And I can use some of this on the spine and some of this as well. I'm just going to cut the applique piece off the bottom there. Put that over there. And so I can use some of this as well down the spine. Not that one. Not that one. Maybe a bit of that because that's nice and soft. I have to wait and see. I think there's a bit of pink, not a lot. And make, like, I want to sew it on there, but I kind of want it all like, you know, runched up sort of thing, like that, and combined in. And I've still got these. I never used any of the little roses, so maybe I could put a rose, although I don't know. I'll have to think about that. Oh, what I do have is this. Now this is not from Luscious Laces. This is my own. It's the last piece. But last pieces, there's a couple of little bits there that I've got. And that is off a night dress I found, a vintage night dress. It's ever so pretty, isn't it? Maybe I could use those two little pieces there, because see how that ends there? It doesn't have to go all the way down. And save that for another project because it's so pretty. And that's all I've got of that. So maybe I will use that in conjunction with those going down here. And then I also have the option of, if I want to stuff some laces inside the cover before closing it up. Just a moment. Sorry about that. Okay, yes, so if I wanted to put any bits of lace inside the cover, that now would be the right time, you know, even just sandwiching them in like that before joining it all together. I mean, I can take the clip off and do it, of course, but do you see what I mean? It kind of gives that look. Or even if I wanted to get some seam binding or sari silk and sew that around it a bit. So that's the next thing I've got to think about, and I'm going to do all that. That's the sort of thing that's going to take some time, so I won't be doing that on camera. But that's the general idea of the Doiley book journal, you could call it. Now, when I first started, it was a Doiley book, and as I started working on it, I thought, it'd be really nice to make into a journal, because it's, you know, it's useful that way, isn't it? It's not just pretty, it's pretty useful. So I'm going to go and finish it, and then the next video will be a flip through of the final project. Okay, thank you for joining me, and take care, everybody. Bye.